What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a story time on how I got food poisoning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications. Comment down below and stay tuned to the video. Okay, so I believe it was a Sunday, and the day prior my mom cooked us salmon patties with some grits for breakfast. Yeah, for breakfast. And at the time I didn't know, and I was just eating them. I was just eating them, obviously, because like I didn't expect anything. And then the next day, I mean, my stomach didn't really start hurting, but I woke up the next day and my stomach was hurting a little bit. And then I just thought either I had to use the bathroom or I just needed to eat something. So I used the bathroom, nothing happened. I just used the bathroom and my stomach still hurts. So, and then I eat more of the salmon patties, not knowing that I shouldn't be eating more of the salmon patties, because that's what I got food poisoning from. So then my stomach just started hurting. It feels like I'm gonna throw up a little bit, but I didn't throw up yet. And then my sister comes home, and then it's like 12 something o'clock, and my sister comes home from work, and then I'm like, my stomach's still hurting, but I didn't say much too about it because my stomach didn't hurt that much at the time. It was just a little, didn't bother me too much, but my stomach was hurting. She comes home and she brings me some chicken from her job, and then I'm eating, and I'm like not eating that much anymore because my stomach hurts. I was like, maybe if I eat something different, my stomach will stop hurting. So I'm eating, and then after a while I stopped eating the chicken that she brought us. It was like barbecue chicken. And then my stomach, I completely stopped. And then after a while, because we were playing the game while we were eating, and after a while it feels like I'm gonna throw up. And I was like telling her, because you know when you're like about to throw up and your like mouth starts salivating, and I think that's what it's called. Like saliva just continuously comes, like you swallow it, more saliva is like gushing out of your mouth, out of your throat, and it's just a lot of saliva in your mouth. Because like I know when you're gonna, that's how you know when you're gonna throw up. And I was like telling her, I think I'm gonna throw up. She was like, oh, why? I was like, I don't know, my stomach hurts. And then after like 5 minutes later, I run into the bathroom because I feel like the food coming back up my mouth. And then I threw up the salmon patties that I ate earlier, and I threw up the I threw up the chicken that she brought from home. Brought from her job. And then I'm like, oh, well, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. My stomach hurting. And then she calls my mom, and then she calls our mom. And then she's like, oh, Ayana threw up. Ayana threw up. And then at that point, we still don't know what's wrong with me. And then my mom comes home again, and then every 5-10 minutes I would throw up again and again and again and again and again. I threw up, I lay down, I threw up, I lay down. I was just trying to rest, and I was like, well, maybe if I just rest I'll stop throwing up, because I was like throwing up. Like that day I literally threw up like 10 times, 10, probably more than that. And then my mom comes home from work because she was gonna get off like an hour more than that, but she just comes home because um, she thought she thought I was like sick. So, and then we didn't want to go to the hospital because what's going on in the hospital, and you're not supposed to go to the hospital unless you really need to. So I was just like, we're not gonna go to the hospital. I was just gonna take some Tylenol and take some stuff to calm my stomach down and drink some water, because I was throwing up everything that I had in my stomach, and I basically didn't have anything in my stomach like left. And then I kept on throwing up, and then at a point, like I was like throwing up so much, like it was so cold, and I was like shaking. I was in my bed, and I was drinking ginger ale. I was like trying to drink some soup, and everything I was eating, I was just throwing up. So eventually I threw up so many times and my stomach was hurting that I had to go to the hospital. So we go to the hospital, and it was so cold. It was cold. I was throwing up like every 5 minutes at that point. I was just going to the hospital because I wasn't gonna throw up. I wasn't gonna be all night throwing up. So I was just going to the hospital. And then we get to the hospital, and I was sleeping in the back of the car. I was trying to sleep. I wasn't sleeping because my stomach hurted too much to sleep. So, and I would throw up, and my stomach would feel good for a couple minutes, and then my stomach would start hurting again, and then I would throw up, and then that continuous thing would happen. That's part of the reason why I had to go to the hospital. So then we get to the hospital. We drive. She stops the car. We park it. We lock it, all that, and we're walking. I feel like I'm gonna throw up again a little bit, and then we're at the door, and she's like, "Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong?" Blah blah blah. And I throw up again, and I'm about to get one of those bags, the throw up bags, but I was about to throw up. Like, I was literally going to throw up, like at the moment. So I just grabbed the trash can. I was throwing up, and then I wasn't throwing up that much because there was nothing in my stomach at that point. It was just acid coming up. I was just throwing up acid from my stomach at that point. And then she gets a bag, and I'm throwing up, and then the guy brings a wheelchair in, because like at that point they're like, okay, this girl obviously has something wrong with her, let's get her a room. And then the guy brings a wheelchair, and I sit in the wheelchair, and then brings me to the room. And I thought I didn't go to the hospital around that time when the pandemic is happening, so I didn't know like they were gonna be all that gear. They had like full gear on, like every part of their body was covered. They had the mask on. They had like the um, plastic mask over their face, and then they had the gloves on. They had like a surgery, like those surgery shows you watch, and um, they had like that gear over their scrubs, and they had that in, and they got me in, and then I was sitting there, and they took my heartbeat, they took all that, they took all my information. They were getting my information from my mom, and I threw up again while the guy was trying to see what's wrong with my stomach and my back, and was trying to take my heartbeat and all that, and hear my stomach and all. And then after a while, I was coming down. They put me on, did something to make me stop throwing up or something. They put they hooked me up to IV, and they gave me some medicine to make my stomach stop hurting. And I threw up. That was the only 2 times I threw up in the hospital, and that was the only 2 times I threw up in the hospital. And after a while, it kind of felt like I was gonna throw up a little bit, but not as much. And then it would calm down, and then the lady, after we were there for like an hour and 30 minutes, maybe 2 hours, and then it was nighttime at that point, and I was like, for like first time like all that day, I was actually falling asleep because my stomach didn't hurt anymore. And it's pretty hard to fall asleep when your stomach is hurting. So my stomach wasn't hurting anymore, and I could go to sleep, and I was going to sleep. And then the lady, she wanted me to eat, like, she gave me ginger ale and some crackers because she wanted to see if I could hold the food down, so I wouldn't go home and throw up again, and I'll be back there, because what's going on in the hospital is dangerous enough to go there. And then I could hold it down, and they were like, we're about to leave. And then she had me do a blood test and pee in a cup, so they could figure out what's wrong with me. And they said that I may have the virus, but that wasn't true, because I just got food poisoning from the eggs. Because later we went home and we checked to see what was in that, because my mom, she cooked the salmon like I told you in the beginning, eggs, flour, water, all that, and the eggs were like a week overdue, probably even more. They were overdue, and it was the eggs, apparently, because I don't have the virus. I don't have it, clearly. I don't have it. So, yeah, it was just the eggs. The eggs were overdue, and they made my stomach hurt, and I had to go to the hospital. Like, my stomach was hurting. Every time I wouldn't be able to even lay down and rest, because I would, like, constantly be running back and forth to my room and the bathroom, I was, like, laying down. I would be laying down trying to make, like, rest, hopefully get some sleep, because my stomach was hurting so much. And I would run to the bathroom and throw up, go back, run to the bathroom, throw up. And I was trying to, at home, another reason why we needed to go to the doctor is because I was trying to take the Tylenol, and hopefully it would calm down my stomach, and because I was cold and my stomach was hurting. So hopefully I would like calm my stomach down, but I threw that up. So I took when we got to the doctor, I kept some of it down. I kept some of the Tylenol down, but I threw up the Tylenols, and I was taking I was trying to like keep the food down, couldn't keep the food down, it was cold. And yeah, so that is a story time on how I got food poisoning. She didn't know the eggs were overdue, but because like we had like 3 cartons, 3 different ones in the refrigerator, and she just picked randomly. I guess that was from like, those were the older ones, because you know how like you buy eggs and you buy eggs the past month and you're trying to like use that, you buy another one but you're trying to use the old one so you could throw that carton away, and there's only a couple more eggs in there. So that's what she was doing. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video of me getting food poisoning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and sub, and turn on your bell notifications. Bye.